Why black cats are associated with bad luck. Superstition. But where did this belief originate? Let's find out if black cats really deserve the bad rap they've been given. 1. The ancient beginnings. In ancient Egypt, cats, regardless of color, were not just animals, but revered as sacred beings. This reverence was born out of practical and spiritual reasons. Cats played a crucial role in protecting grain stores by hunting mice and other pests, which made them invaluable to Egyptian society. Over time, this practical appreciation evolved into a deep spiritual connection. With their sleek, enigmatic appearance, black cats were particularly associated with mysticism and the divine. One of the most prominent symbols of this reverence was the goddess Batet, who was depicted as a lioness or a domestic cat, and was the protector of homes and families. She was also associated with fertility, love, and joy, making her one of the most beloved deities in the Egyptian pantheon. Black-coated cats, with their striking appearance, were seen as particularly special, embodying the mystery and power of the goddess herself. In fact, harming or killing a cat in Egypt, even accidentally, was considered a grave crime punishable by death, illustrating just how sacred these animals were. This divine status meant that cats were often depicted in Egyptian art, buried with their owners, or even mummified to accompany them into the afterlife. The black cat, in particular, may have been seen as a symbol of protection in the face of darkness or evil, aligning with the Egyptian concept of balance between light and dark. This sacred status of cats in ancient Egypt demonstrates just how far removed they were from the unlucky reputation they would later gain in Europe. In those days, cats, black ones included, were symbols of divinity, good fortune, and protection, far from the superstitions that would arise centuries later. 2. The rise of superstition. In medieval times, black cats began their steep decline from revered creatures to symbols of fear and misfortune. During this period, life was marked by uncertainty, disease, and a lack of scientific understanding. People needed explanations for the unknown, and superstition often filled the gaps. Black cats, with their nocturnal habits, stealthy movements, and piercing eyes that seemed to glow in the dark, became an easy target. Their mysterious nature made them stand out, and in a society where different often equated to dangerous, black cats became scapegoats. This was also a time when the church sought to stamp out anything it deemed heretical or pagan, and cats, especially black ones, were tied to pre-Christian traditions and mystical beliefs. The rise of witchcraft accusations exacerbated this issue. Black cats were thought to be witches' familiars, spiritual companions, or even demonic entities that aided witches in their dark deeds. Folklore claimed that witches could shape-shift into black cats to carry out their mischief unseen. This association between black cats and witchcraft was so strong that, during the witch hunts of the 16th and 17th centuries, owning a black cat was considered evidence of practicing sorcery. Entire communities would hunt and kill black cats, believing it would protect them from evil. But this cruelty had unintended consequences. In some regions, the mass killing of cats allowed rat populations to flourish, contributing to the spread of the Black Death. Ironically, the very creatures once feared as harbingers of doom may have been the key to preventing it. This chapter of history is a grim reminder of how fear and ignorance can distort perceptions and turn innocent animals into symbols of terror. The superstition surrounding black cats became deeply ingrained, setting the stage for their association with bad luck that persists in some cultures even today. 3. Black cats and Halloween. How black cats became iconic symbols of one of the spookiest nights of the year. The connection between black cats and Halloween can be traced back to their association with witches and the supernatural, which flourished during the Middle Ages and beyond. As folklore evolved, so did the imagery tied to witchcraft, and black cats became a prominent part of the narrative. They were believed to be witches' familiars, spiritual companions that assisted in magical practices, or even witches themselves in disguise. By the time Halloween traditions began to take shape in Europe, especially with the Celtic festival of Samhain, black cats were already viewed with suspicion. Samhain, a precursor to modern Halloween, was a time when the veil between the living and the dead was thought to be at its thinnest, making it a night filled with superstition and fear of the unknown. Black cats, with their nocturnal habits and mysterious appearances, fit perfectly into the eerie atmosphere of the celebration. When Halloween customs migrated to America, black cats solidified their place in the holiday's imagery. The commercialization of Halloween in the late 19th and early 20th centuries further cemented their role as spooky symbols, appearing in decorations, costumes, and stories. Their sleek, dark appearance made them ideal for representing the unknown and the supernatural, while their history with witches tied them to the folklore surrounding the holiday. However, Halloween also contributed to the playful and whimsical side of black cats, turning them into charming, if still mysterious, mascots of the season. Today, while some superstition remains, black cats during Halloween are just as likely to be seen as cute and mysterious as they are spooky, embodying the balance between fun and fright that defines the holiday. 4. Black cats in different cultures. While black cats have often been associated with bad luck in Western superstition, their symbolism varies widely across cultures, and in many places, they are seen as harbingers of good fortune and prosperity. In Japan, for instance, black cats are regarded as symbols of protection and good luck, especially for single women. In Japanese folklore, having a black cat is believed to attract potential suitors and ward off evil spirits, making them a much-loved companion. Similarly, in Scottish tradition, it is thought that if a black cat appears at your doorstep, it signifies prosperity and good fortune coming your way. In ancient sailor lore, black cats were highly prized aboard ships. Sailors believed that these cats would bring safe passage and protect the ship from storms. The wives of fishermen and sailors would often keep black cats at home, hoping their presence would ensure their husband's safety at sea. In some regions of England, a black cat crossing your path was traditionally seen as a sign of good luck, directly opposing the widespread Western superstition of bad luck. Even in Irish and Welsh mythology, cats, regardless of their color, were imbued with mystical qualities, and black cats, in particular, were often associated with protection from harm. Meanwhile, in many African and indigenous cultures, black cats were seen as spiritual beings or guardians, rather than objects of fear. These positive associations show how perceptions of black cats are shaped by cultural context, with some societies embracing their mystique and elegance as symbols of good fortune, while others, influenced by fear and superstition, cast them in a more negative light. These contrasting beliefs highlight the richness and diversity of cultural symbolism and underscore how much our perception of black cats depends on the stories we choose to believe. 5. Modern-day perceptions. How black cats are viewed in today's world. A mix of lingering superstitions, shifting narratives, and growing advocacy for their welfare. Despite centuries of folklore casting them as unlucky or sinister, black cats have slowly risen above their tarnished reputation, thanks in part to modern animal rights movements, pop culture, and changing societal attitudes. However, the shadow of superstition has not entirely disappeared. In some parts of the world, black cats are still less likely to be adopted from shelters compared to their lighter-colored counterparts. This phenomenon, sometimes referred to as black cat bias, is fueled not only by lingering fears of bad luck, but also by more superficial reasons, such as their perceived difficulty in photographing well for social media. During Halloween, black cats are even at risk of harm due to their historical association with witchcraft and the supernatural, leading many shelters to impose special adoption restrictions around the holiday to prevent abuse. On the brighter side, modern media and pop culture have played a significant role in reshaping the narrative around black cats. Characters like Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Thackeray Binks from Hocus Pocus have turned black cats into beloved icons, showing them as loyal, witty, and magical companions rather than ominous figures. Social media platforms have also helped celebrate black cats, showcasing their beauty, charm, and playful personalities. Many people now see black cats as symbols of elegance, mystery, and sophistication, traits that make them stand out in the feline world. As awareness grows about the unfounded superstitions surrounding black cats, there has been a concerted effort to encourage their adoption and combat the biases against them. Today, black cats are celebrated by many as symbols of resilience, misunderstood beauty, and the power of changing perceptions. They remind us that the stories we tell and the beliefs we hold can evolve, turning fear and superstition into admiration and love. In the end, black cats are just like any other cat, full of personality, charm, and a touch of mystery. The idea that they're unlucky? That's just a myth rooted in centuries-old misunderstandings and fear. So let's leave those superstitions in the past where they belong and give black cats the love and respect they deserve. So, if you're thinking of adopting a cat, why not give a black cat a chance? They're just as lovable, playful, and magical as any other cat, maybe even more so. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give a thumbs up, subscribe, and drop a comment below telling us your favorite black cat story. Or just say hi. And remember, luck is what you make of it. So why not make it perfect?